Imagine that you visit a zoo or a national park with your friends on one pleasant day. What do you expect to see? Different types of animals, right? You might even see some animals with their young ones, monkeys with their infants, lions with their cubs, etc. As a student of biology, what comes to your mind when you see parent animals with their young ones? You might think that living beings produce young ones to continue their species, right? Now, let's talk about ourselves. We have seen human newborn babies, right? Like other living beings, humans also produce young ones to continue their species. The process of production of offspring of their kind by living beings is called reproduction. You have already read about two main modes of reproduction called sexual and asexual reproduction. Recall that the sexual reproduction is exhibited by humans or the complex organisms. So both sexes have a male and a female reproductive structures in separate individuals. So can you recall the term which goes well with this? Yes, it represents dioecy. So humans are dioecious. But do you know what structures makes male and female reproductive systems in humans? More specifically, what are the parts of the male reproductive system in humans? What is the function of each of these structures? Let us discuss the structure of the human male reproductive system and its function in detail. So let's begin the journey. The human male reproductive system includes gonads, accessory ducts, accessory sex glands, and external genitalia. Each of these structures has separate specific functions. So let's check them one by one. Gonads produce gametes and secrete the sex hormone. Accessory ducts stores and transport the gametes. Accessory sex glands secretes specific substances with specific roles. The external genitalia assists in the delivery of gametes. But what are the gonads in human males? Let's find out. Testes are a paired oval structures that serves as gonads in human males. Each testis develops near the kidneys and descends into the scrotum during the embryonic development. Here, the scrotum is a pouch composed of loose skin present outside the abdominal cavity. So you might ask a question here. Why are testes located in the scrotum outside the abdominal cavity? What is its significance? The presence of testes in the scrotum outside the abdominal cavity and the contraction of muscles of the scrotum maintains the temperature of testes to 2 to 3 degrees Celsius below core body temperature. The process of production of sperms requires this lower temperature. Do you know what the external and the internal structures of the testis are? Each testis is an oval structure with 4 to 5 centimeter length and 2 to 3 centimeter width. It is covered by a tough and fibrous capsule. The capsule extends inwards and forms septa that divides the testis into compartments called the testicular lobules. So internally, each testis is composed of around 250 testicular lobules. And each lobule has 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are the site for spermatogenesis. You might ask, what is spermatogenesis? Spermatogenesis is a process by which the sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubules. But what are the seminiferous tubules composed of? The seminiferous tubule contain two types of cells, which are the spermatogenic cells or the male germ cells and the Sertoli cells. As the name suggests, the male germ cell undergo meiosis and produce male gametes called sperms. I have a doubt here. What is the function of Sertoli cells then? Sertoli cells nourish the developing sperms, protects them, and regulate the release of the sperms into the lumen of seminiferous tubules. Sertoli cells also secrete the hormone inhibin and regulate the effect of testosterone and the FSH, that is the follicle stimulating hormone. You might ask a question here. Which cells secrete the male hormone, testosterone? The answer is the interstitial cells or the Leydig cells. These cells are located in the space between the adjacent seminiferous tubules and secrete the male hormone testosterone. What is peculiar about testosterone? Testosterone is the androgen that promotes the development of masculine features and regulates the production of sperms. Next comes the accessory ducts of the male reproductive system. It includes retetestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. The sperms from the seminiferous tubule of this testis enters the retetestis. Retetestis is a network of ducts in the testis. Can you tell me the function of retetestis? The retetestis carries the sperm from the seminiferous tubule to a series of coiled ducts called vasa efferentia, which then open into the epididymis and then into the vas deferens. So, what is the epididymis? What are its function in reproduction? The term epididymis means above or over the testis. So, the epididymis is a coiled structure located along the superior and the posterior border of each testis. But what is the function of epididymis? The epididymis is the site for sperm maturation. As sperms acquire the motility and the ability to fertilize the ovum here. The process occurs in around 14 days. Epididymis also stores sperms and keep them viable for several months. From the epididymis, the sperms are propelled into the vas deferens. You might ask a question here. What are vas deferens? What is its function? Vas deferens is the portion that ascends along the posterior border of the epididymis. It enters the pelvic cavity and loops over the ureter and the urinary bladder. It also stores the sperms for several months and delivers the sperms from the epididymis to the urethra. The duct from the accessory sex gland are called the seminal vesicle and the terminal portion of vas deferens join to form the ejaculatory duct, which then terminate in the urethra. Do you know that urethra is a common structure of reproductive and the urinary system in males? It serves as a passageway for semen and urine. I have a doubt here. What is semen? Semen is a fluid that includes secretions from the accessory sex glands and sperms. But what are these accessory sex glands? What are their functions? Let's discuss. The accessory sex glands in males are the seminal vesicles and the prostrates, along with bulbourethral glands. Seminal vesicles are paired pouch-like structures that secretes an alkaline calcium-rich fluid. Let us now check the function of this fluid. The first function is to neutralize the acid in the female reproductive tract. Second function, to provide fructose, which serves as a fuel for the ATP production by sperm. The third function is to mediate sperm motility, and keep them viable. The prostate gland is a single gland that secretes a milky, slightly acidic fluid. The bulbourethral glands are the paired glands that secretes an alkaline fluid. It neutralizes the acidic conditions of the urethra and lubricates the lining of the urethra and the tip of the penis. So the secretion of these accessory sex glands and the sperms together make the semen that is carried from the urethra. The urethra extends through the penis and terminates in the urethral meatus, which is its external opening. Now that you have learned about male gonads, accessory ducts and accessory sex glands, let us discuss the male external genitalia called the penis. The penis is a cylindrical structure composed of the body, glans penis, and the attached part is called the root. The glans penis is the distal and enlarged end of the penis, covered with a loose skin fold called the foreskin. The function of the penis is to serve as a passageway for semen ejaculation and excretion of urine. Now that you have learned about the components of the male reproductive system and the respective function, can you name the organs of the female reproductive system? What are their functions? What is the source of a female reproductive sex hormones? Do female gonads also serve as endocrine glands and secrete hormones? We will discuss all these questions and the female reproductive system in the next video. Now, let us summarize what we have learnt.
Manorama Horizon. Learning made simple.